mindset and the importance of encouraging an environment of growth for our youth. On last week's show, I had a school counselor on to celebrate School Counselor Appreciation Week. And this week, I am thankful to have an amazing principal of Mooresville Intermediate School as my guest today, Dr. Quinetta Hall-Pratt, whom I will introduce to you guys here momentarily. I'm just so excited to have her on and kind of talk about all the good things she's doing. I'm just really excited about today's topic. As a licensed professional counselor and someone who is extremely passionate about mental health and mental fitness and really optimizing mental performance, I'm always fascinated by the mindset and mentality of people, especially as it pertains to our young people. And if you think about it, their brain is still in a developing stage. And this is a crucial time for them to develop cognitive, social, and emotional skill sets. How do you adapt? How do you adjust? There's constant learning that's going on and taking place, and not all learning is done in the classroom. And so when you think about that for a second, if you begin to kind of think about what separates people who are performing at a high level, what separates somebody from who might give up very easily versus those who persevere, what separates somebody who might say, I can't versus I can or I will, what's the difference between somebody who might say, I'm not good enough versus I'm the greatest? And when you think about that, there is a clear difference in mindset. There is a clear difference in mentality. And one of the biggest differences I'm describing, there is a term for this. We're talking about fixed mindsets versus growth mindsets. And as I think about this conversation, I think it's really important because when it comes to our youth, we have to begin to ask these questions. Are we crippling our youth or are we growing them? Are they confident? Are they resilient? Are they willing to take risk and fail? Or are we stifling them and not allowing them to grow because of our own insecurities and setbacks? So we have to really begin to kind of ask these questions. And when I was doing the research and preparing for today's show, there's a lot of research out there about transforming education, really creating a different model, socio-emotional model around learning and education. And it's a lot related to neuroscience and mindset. Research is showing that growth mindset can be taught, and it's something that can occur through rich interactions between students, teachers, and their environments, whether that's in school, whether that's at home, whether that's in the communities. So we are seeing that growth and the potential for kids to really see no limits is something that can be taught. So as we think about building mentally fit communities and fostering confidence, resiliency, and happiness in our children, we have to ask the question, are we encouraging a growth or a fixed mindset? And before we get into today's show, I'm going to give you guys some definitions of what these terms mean. So when we think about fixed mindsets, students with a fixed mindset or fixed mentality, they believe that their own intelligence and talent are innate, so that they don't change. For example, they may say, I just can't learn math. And research shows that these students typically worry about not looking smart, they get upset by mistakes, and they give up sooner on tougher tasks. Students with a growth mindset, they believe that their ability can change with effort, perseverance, and practice. So for example, this student may say, math is hard, but if I keep trying, I can get better at it. Students with a growth mindset see mistakes as a way to learn, they embrace challenges, and they persist in the face of setbacks. And I think majority of people would agree that we want to encourage an environment of growth for our youth, which has led me to today's topic. We're going to talk about how to lead with purpose and how to encourage an environment of growth, how to encourage an environment where people are not afraid to try and fail, how to encourage an environment where kids feel confident, where they're happy and they're proud of themselves. So if you are just tuning in for the very first time, you are listening to the Mental Fitness Matters Show. I am your host, Tracy Alston, and this show is designed to provide you guys with education, tips, strategies, and solutions on how to improve your mental performance. So on this show, I talk about all matters as it relates to mental health and mental fitness, and I'm always looking for experts or guests to come on the show with me. So if you have an expertise, or if you have a story or a mental fitness story that you want to share with our audience, I would love to have you on. please visit tracyalston.com. That is TracyAlston.com. You can go there and apply to be a guest on my show. You can also check out the Mental Fitness Matters podcast. So if you are a podcast listener, whether that's iTunes, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever your listening platform is, feel free to download the Mental Fitness Matters podcast, subscribe there. I will be uploading these shows on that platform so that you will never miss the show. All right, guys, let's get into today's topic. Right now, we're going to talk to someone who is doing an awesome job leading with purpose and encouraging a growth mindset for her school and her staff. Dr. Quinetta Hall Pratt, she is the principal of Mooresville Intermediate School, which is located in Mooresville, North Carolina. She's a graduate of Clemson University with a Bachelor of Science degree in sociology, and she's continued her education, receiving graduate degrees in counseling and school leadership. She has been an educator for 17 years. Congratulations on that. That's awesome. For 17 years, and she enjoys supporting students and teachers to help them reach their desired outcomes. Dr. Pratt, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So glad to have you. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Just like you said, I was raised in Huntersville, North Carolina,
Yes.
Right down the street. Graduated from North Mecklenburg High School, went on to Clemson, received my Bachelor of Science there, then later pursued graduate degrees from Webster University and Gardner-Webb University in school counseling and school leadership. I'm married. I have 3 beautiful boys.
Yes.
And I just love to help people. I'm a servant, and I love to serve, love to make sure that students and teachers are getting what they need to be successful in the school environment.
So did you always kind of know that this was your path? Did you know as you were kind of going through the educational field, was it like, I want to become a principal, or were you just kind of guided and led there? How did this happen?
I think I was guided and led there because initially, no.
Yeah.
That wasn't my desired outcome. When I went to Clemson, I wanted to be a pharmacist. Can you believe it? And then later, just really know that I wanted to serve kids and serve in a different capacity. And that's how I got to the leadership component. So I really love what I do.
Yeah.
I love serving others. I love reaching out to the youth. I was a juvenile counselor.
Wow.
I worked for the detention center.
Yep.
So that also led me into leadership, just looking at our at-risk youth and seeing some of the things that they were going through to see how can I be more of a positive example for them.
That's incredible. And I think it's so important as you're kind of talking about our youth and the impact that you have seen and that you know that's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
We thank you for that because we're at a crucial time where our kids need so much. Their brains are developing and changing. And so positive impacts are very, very important. And for you leading a school as a principal, I know you probably wear so many hats.
Yes.
What would you say your core main jobs and responsibilities are as you're leading your staff, as you're leading the students, as you're leading the vision for MIS? What are your responsibilities?
Just like I said, first and foremost, being a servant.
Yeah.
Being a servant leader. Also the instructional leader. Going into classrooms, monitoring instruction. Also monitoring, supervising students and staff. I'm an advocate.
Yes.
I'm an advocate for students. I'm a collaborator, working with parents and the community leaders like yourself, making sure that our students have what we need, from purchasing resources to make sure that our students have what they need for academics and behavior. Cheerleader.
Yeah.
I have to be a cheerleader for my school, for my students, for my staff. We wear so many hats, a counselor, just making sure I'm a listening ear. If any of my students have any concerns, just knowing that I'm there to support them. We wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it, coming into work every day, just making sure that I'm there, I'm present, I'm visible.
Yes.
That's the most important part, just making sure that I'm visible, and that they know that they can come to me and talk to me about any issues or concerns.
I love that. And I've had the opportunity, thank you, to be around MIS quite a few times within the last year or so. And you guys are always looking for ways to innovate and to grow and to really bring in community to help build your students. And as we're talking about the topic today, when we think about growth and development of our youth, in what ways would you say that MIS is currently encouraging students to grow from a social, emotional, and academic perspective?
Yes. Currently, my school counselor, she integrates character lessons every month.
Yeah.
Making sure she talks about honesty,
Yes.
responsibility, respect, teaching kindness, you know, because that's what we need.
Yes.
So those are some of the things that she do once a month. And then also developing, like you said, just being innovative and trying to think of different ways to encourage our youth, just trying to think of different ways. So we came up with a SHINE program.
Yes. Talk about SHINE. Talk about the SHINE program.
Well, wanted to do something different and really decrease the discipline at my school. And so I talked with my behavior assistant, Mr. Johnson, to say, you know, hey, this is my vision.
Yeah.
I really want to meet students where they are. I want to have a bridge, have that connection. So if something is going on, we can address it and not look to suspensions, not looking to putting them into ISS or sending them away,
Yes.
but really having someone to mentor, having someone that they can check in and check out with during the day to let them know that someone is there with them. So that was my vision. And so he came up with our SHINE program to where he's mentoring them, any of our at-risk students, pulling them when available, able to, if they are struggling in the class at that moment, the teacher can call for him and he can come down and go to see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes our kids are, they wasn't fed that morning.
Right.
So just giving them snacks, that small thing can really set off a student in class. And as you know, if students are not being fed emotionally and able to have those connections, they're not going to learn.
Wow.
So we're really looking at just changing that environment just to let them know that we're here to support them emotionally, so we can hear their concerns so they can be able to go back into the classroom to learn.
That's huge. Hats off to you guys for doing that. And it takes, as we talk about leading with purpose, it takes thought leaders like yourselves and the team that you have around you to recognize a need, right? To recognize that there's so much happening when it involves learning. It's not just about, can we do a math problem?
Right.
You just said something very key. You know, what if a student hadn't even eaten that morning? So if we're not fed mentally, we're not going to learn. That's not going to come out in a productive way.
Right.
Have you guys noticed since implementing this SHINE tool, this SHINE program, have you seen any changes as it pertains to the behaviors and the openness of the kids and kindness and those things that you're teaching? Have you seen changes since you've implemented that type of program?
Absolutely. From our character lessons to the SHINE program, last year, even when we were just doing the character lessons and really having expectations. And, you know, when you have expectations, kids rise to those expectations. And having those expectations, our discipline decreased by 45% last year.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Wow.
And so
I just got chills as you said that.
Yes.
That's powerful.
And so from last year to this year, this time, it has decreased even more, about 18%.
Wow.
So we are really seeing the impact. We're seeing the difference. We're seeing that increase in classroom engagement because students are know that we're here to support them.
Yeah.
We're here to make sure they're engaged. And if they're not, then what's wrong? How can we better support you? Because I want you to know what's going on with you. It's so many things that kids have to go through in our community.
Yeah.
And we have to make sure that we put that in the forefront so we can so they can be academically prepared to be successful in the future.
I love that. And those numbers, right, they don't lie, you know,
No,
when
they
you
don't.
talk about that and the percentages and the impact. And when you think about that from, as we kind of introduced the show, the difference between the fixed mindset, the verse mindset, a child that's saying I can versus I can't. I remember just personally growing up, my parents would read me the book, The Little Engine That Could. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. That became a mantra. And so when you're giving kids an outlet and a place to really say, you know what, if I'm having a bad day, that's okay.
It's okay.
There's resources, there's tools, there's supports that are built into my community that can support me. I don't have to worry about telling my teacher that I'm not feeling so good because I'm going to get in trouble.
Right.
I can
or that I
really-
don't have a pencil.
Or I don't have a pencil.
And I'm going to get in trouble because I don't have a pencil.
Right.
Every day is a new day.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to reiterate to my staff and to the students. Every day is a new day.
That's good.
If you didn't have a good day yesterday, guess what? We're going to start fresh today.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, I am with Dr. Cornetta Hall Pratt she's the principal at Mooresville Intermediate School. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to finish this conversation about encouraging an environment of growth. You are listening to the Mental Fitness Matters Show. I am your host, Tracy Alston. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to Mental Fitness Matters. I am your host, Tracy Alston, and I am here with the amazing Dr. Cornetta Hall Pratt. She is the principal of Mooresville Intermediate School, and she is really leading with purpose and encouraging an environment of growth mindset for our youth, changing the way that we look at education. And I'm just so honored to have her as a guest on my show.
Thank you,
Welcome
Tracy.
back. When we were just left off for break, we were just really talking about some of the ways that Mooresville Intermediate School is really implementing innovative ways to help their kids shine, to help their kids grow, to help their kids be all that they're called to be. And I just want to continue this conversation as we were just talking about ways that we're encouraging the youth through the Shine program. When you're thinking about making an encouraging environment at your school, how does MIS motivate the teachers and the thought leaders of the school? How do you guys stay inspired? How do you stay motivated to continue this growth?
Yes, ma'am. It's important to be positive.
Yeah.
That is my mantra, is that, we remain positive. We come to work positive. And so that's the culture that I'm trying to build at my school. So it's important to celebrate my staff.
Yes.
Celebrate them for small things, for big things, just recognizing them and the work that they do, because it's hard work, but it's important work. So, I have to make sure they're good, because if they're good, then my kids are going to be good, right?
Good.
So I just want to celebrate them, just making sure that we remain positive, really looking at problem solving. So just how we have a growth mindset for our kids, we also have to have it for our teachers.
Yes.
Because although, things is going to come, we're going to have problems, we're going to have issues, but how do we resolve it? What is our mindset in thinking, how are we going to move past this? How are we going to resolve it? Just really being problem solvers. And so that's what some of the things that I try to encourage my staff to do. And they're wonderful.
Yeah.
They're a good group of teachers that I'm excited to have working with me in my building.
I love that. And I love the words you use, talking about the culture of what you guys are creating there, that positivity, that happiness, that shine.
Yes.
But I also just heard in that not only creating a built-in resiliency model for the youth, but you're creating a built-in resiliency model for the staff. We're going to have challenges. We're going to have things that pop up. What do we do about it, right? And so that pivot is key. And as you're modeling that from a leadership standpoint, it has no choice but to kind of rub off from a standpoint of our youth. So that is cool. What would you say the 2 to 3 areas of growth or change that have happened since you guys have really implemented this? And I think I've heard you say this, but the 45%. But are there areas of growth that you've really seen take place as you guys have implemented this model within MIS?
Absolutely. I'm excited about my school. I have to promote it because they have done, my teachers, my staff, my students have done such a wonderful job. Before I got to MIS was in the red, and having grown in 4 years, we were in the red. When I got there and just implementing this positivity culture, this positivity of a growth mindset of looking at the social emotional before we impact the academics, we have really changed the academics of our students. Wow. So our school performance grade, that's how North Carolina grades us. We went from a C to a B in 1 year. So that is powerful.
Let me get a high five for that. Dr. Pratt, that is awesome.
We went from a C to a B. And then we grew. We met growth. So that was so important, going from the red to being in the green. It was really powerful for my staff, and I just want to congratulate them because of their hard work and their dedication. It really led us to that place that we are. And then talking about the discipline, that 45% decrease in discipline. Just like I said, just changing the culture, just making sure that we are monitoring instruction, we're monitoring students, we're giving them what they need to succeed. So it's been very good, and I'm excited.
As you should be, and I'm excited for what you guys are doing and for the people that are coming out of there and the opportunities they're going to have because of the foundation and the culture that you guys are creating. So hats off to you, and hats off to anybody listening at Mooresville Intermediate School, the staff, the social workers, whoever's involved, the parents, the students. Hats off to you guys. Continue to grow and build and be the best versions of yourselves. Guys, we are talking about growth mindset, and I always kind of want to end the show with just giving some practical solutions as we talk about the topics that we talk about. As you've just heard Dr. Pratt talking about how they're building a culture around growth mindset, how they're not only looking at their students' growth, but also the growth of their leaders, which is huge and it's key. And if you are a parent out there and you're listening right now, if you have kids or if you interact with kids, thinking about this in terms of how do I grow the person that I'm in front of? How do I grow myself, but also how do I grow the youth that I have an opportunity to build and teach? And one of the things that you can really begin to do is praising effort over process. I'm sorry, let me say that again. Praising effort and process over results. If we get so caught into just looking at the end result, that's going to really prevent people from trying, from wanting to fail and try again. So if you can just look at somebody and say, you know what? You tried. You attempted. You showed up today, right? You might not have gotten that A, but you showed up. You put in a little effort. So start to look at things and praise the effort, because kids need to hear that too. Another thing, nurturing a culture that tolerates risk. And that's what you guys are building. You're providing a culture that, guess what? If I forgot a pencil today, it's no big deal. It's all good. There's bigger things to worry about here. So those are some things that you can begin to do right now in your own home. Start to nurture where kids can feel comfortable to fail and to try again. I want to leave you with one more before our time is up. I want you guys to begin to think about the brain as something that can grow. This is not something that's stuck and this is all you got. Your brain is a muscle. You can use it. You can learn it. Experiences allow the new connections to be made. So don't be afraid to try again. Guys, you have been listening to the Mental Fitness Matters Show. I am here every single Thursday, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Feel free to tune in every week. Dr. Pratt, it has been awesome having you on today. I can't thank you enough for who you are and what you're doing.
And I appreciate you for what you're doing as well.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. It's building the culture, creating communities, partnerships, and relationships. That's what it's about. You guys go out and be the best version of yourselves today. Shine bright like the stars that you are. I can't wait to see you next week. You've been listening to the Mental Fitness Matters Show. I'm your host, Tracy Alston, and this is Dr. Quinetta Hall Pratt. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us today on Mental Fitness Matters. Tune in every Thursday at 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. for more tips, tools, strategies, and solutions that will help you reach your peak mental fitness. My name is Tracy Alston, and you've been listening to Mental Fitness Matters.
News